Welcome to MARC Matters, a monthly series produced by MARC, Inc. of Manchester that focus on people with disabilities, their success, challenges to live and work and enjoy the community. My name is Thomas McCann, and I am your host. Today we will talk to Ken Charpentier, Executive Director of MARC Inc. Welcome.
Hi, Tom. Thank you very much for inviting me onto your show.
Thanks for coming. How long have you worked at MARC Inc.?
Oh, just over 17 years. Started, if I remember correctly, February 26th, 1990.
And how does it feel working at MARC?
It's the best job I could possibly hope for. I've met so many great people over the years. Just a wonderful place to work.
How was it working for Lori Frankel when she was Executive Director?
Well, I learned so much from Lori. We worked closely for many, many years, and I think that my transition was so easy because of what I learned from Lori.
How did you get involved with MARC?
Well, before I'd even heard of MARC, when I was dating my wife, before we were married, she was involved in Special Olympics. So one day she asked me if I'd want to go along, and we went to a Special Olympics event in Manchester and really had a great time. After that, I found out that my in-laws, who used to run a pizza place in town called Tommy's Pizza, you may be familiar with, I think you may have been there a few times.
Yes.
They hired some people supported by MARC, so I got to meet the people that were on their payroll and got to learn about the agency, and after that I applied for a job.
And did you know that your wife was my one-on-one person at Special Olympics also?
Yes, she had told me that, yes.
Previous to becoming Executive Director, what other positions did you held at MARC?
I was hired as an employment specialist, and I was an employment specialist for, a good 8 or 9 years or so, and then I became an employment coordinator, helping with job development for people that we support, going out and finding the jobs and meeting the employers, and from there I filled in as acting employment director for a short period of time, and then became director of services before being named executive director.
Boy, you've done a lot.
Seen it all.
What was the transition into your new role at MARC?
Well, the transition I think was pretty smooth because I'd been at the agency for so long, knew all the staff, knew all the people we support and families and all the case managers I work with, employers, so the transition was pretty smooth. I'd worked closely with Lori for a number of months leading up to her retirement, so she really had me filled in on all the details to step right in.
What are some of the changes you have entered at MARC since becoming Executive Director?
I don't think we've made any or many significant changes. The service as it is, as I took over from Lori, is an exemplary service to begin with. I think what we've tried to do is we've added some administrative levels. We've added to our nursing support. We've recently hired an assistant director for our residential service. We've kind of changed some of our administrative procedures and our hiring and recruiting policies to go out and hire and recruit the best possible staff out there. Really, it's just as far as new developments. Other than that, I think we're running as smoothly as we ever have.
Well, I know that Jim Mulcahy is at MARC.
Right, he's come on and taken on some of our respite activities and respite supports for people we serve.
And did you know that he worked with DMR as a Special Olympics
Yes.
person?
Yes, that's right.
What are some of your goals for the agency in the future?
Well, I think our main goal is to remain the agency of choice for the families and people we support, is to make sure that we make every effort to have people we serve feel comfortable with our services and confident in our ability and confident in our supports that we provide, that we're doing the best for them, and really so that the families can be very comfortable knowing that people that they love are being served well. Aside from the service end, we have launched a building campaign, so plans for the future as far as acquiring a piece of property, some land, and also building a new building that would become our permanent home is a major goal for the next, it's a good 5-year campaign, I would think, that we're actively in right now.
So you have a lot going on.
We do.
For MARC.
We do.
Well, what is the organization statute for MARC?
Well, we're governed by a volunteer board of directors that oversee all of our services and set the agenda with myself and our directors for the future for the agency and the types of services we provide. We have 6 department directors and all of our direct line staff.
What are some of your responsibility as executive director?
I see really my main responsibility as helping to set the agenda for the agency, the course for the agency, the long-term plans, short-term goals, long-term goals. Of course, overseeing the budget, making sure that the funds that we've been provided either by the state or through fundraising or through donations are being appropriately used. Long-term planning, sort of like the captain of a cruise ship. You know, I didn't build the cruise ship, but we're a 55-year-old agency, so all the people over the 55 years that have worked to build the agency put the structure there, and my role, I see, is to guide us smoothly into the future.
Well, why don't you go to the Capitol and help the legislators also?
We'll do that together.
How many people are supported by MARC?
Oh, just under 250.
How many towns does MARC support?
Well, services touch on the Manchester, greater Manchester area and 18 surrounding towns, most of the towns that are bordering Manchester. And as far as employment services go, we go as far out as Colchester, out to Windsor, New Britain, so a very wide range of the state.
So it's like one part of the town. It means you don't go up to Coventry and other towns.
Well, we would have people that live or have families that live in all of the surrounding towns that we would support, either at work during the day or at home.
What type of services does MARC provide to people with disability?
Well, we try to provide a range of services that really touches on every part of a person's life in whatever particular need area they might have. Our employment services, you're familiar with, we provide supports to people on the job or to find work or to be trained on new tasks within a job, within a business. Our residential services provide support to people at home. Anything from banking and cooking and recreational activities, of course nursing and medical needs, oversight. We have our self-advocacy group that you're very familiar with.
Yes.
And we have Special Olympics volunteers. We have a retirement service that we're very proud of that we provide within the agency. We have our respite services for families that are caring for people, their family members, and need a break from the 24-hour demands of care, and also for some recreational activities for people living at home and might not otherwise be able to access those services. So pretty broad range of services.
So a pretty broad range.
Right.
How many group homes does MARC have?
We have two 24-hour CLA group homes. But our residential service total supports 47 people, and we have 2 new people coming into our service within the next month or so. So we'll be serving 49 people, 8 people in the group homes, and 41 people in our supported living services.
Now, maybe you did not know this, but did you know that I came from a group home?
I did know that, yes. And now you own your own.
Yes. What are some of the what are some of the employees that MARC work with?
Some of the employers, they're all over the area. Some of the ones that some of our greatest employers, Gerber Scientific, Stop and Shop. You're familiar with Stop and Shop? They're a great company to work for.
Oh, yes.
There's Highland Park Market. There's so many to name. We work with over 100 employers, and either through job placement for people out on their payroll, like at Stop and Shop, or also working with companies to provide services for them, maintenance contracts or mailing. We might do some work for other companies that we take in-house for people we support. So we work with well over 100 employers in the area.
Now, what about Burger King in Vernon? Do you still have employ people from
Not at Burger King, no. No, we don't. At McDonald's, just down the street, though, we do.
Why I asked that is because I worked at Burger King.
That's right.
How many staff work at MARC?
We're just about 175 staff, roughly 50% full-time, 50% part-time staff.
I'm glad that's not the age of the deal then. What's the biggest challenge facing MARC?
The biggest challenge always is to raise the funds or secure the funds from the legislature or from the state to provide the quality of services we provide. There's always, fundraising is always very important to us because we need to supplement the revenue that are provided for by the state, and that is the biggest ongoing challenge. It's really the way we're able to do that is by showing people the quality of our services and hope that they recognize that what we do is good for the people we support and good for our community, and they'll help us out. Really, it's getting the word out on what we do and raising the money to do what we really want to do. That's the biggest challenge, I'd say.
Do you apply any explanation in your current services? Any explanation in your current services?
Expansion of services?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think across the board we'll be growing in our residential service, in our employment services, our retirement services. We're hoping to grow the respite service during the coming years significantly. So right across the board, we are planning expansion of services.
What agency business does MARC partners with to help provide services?
Well, we partner primarily with DDS, Department of Developmental Services. They're our main funding source. We work with Department of Social Services. We work with, like I said, 100 different businesses in town, either to provide support to their employees or to do work for them, like the subcontract work we talked about and the maintenance work. We work with Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce on our youth services and also on a new service that we're just developing called the Life Program for people who are working but are not earning wages below federal poverty level. The goal of that is to help them increase their earnings. So we work with there are many partners around town and throughout the state.
Now, do you also work with DMR?
Well, we do, but we're calling them now Department of Developmental Services now, but
as of
the old
October
DMR.
1st.
That's right, as of October 1st. Yes, we do. And we work with many of their case managers, and of course, most of our funding comes from them.
From them?
That's right.
Are there any new services or programs that have been recently launched?
We are in the process of putting together a new service now with the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, with many partners, with Vernon Regional Adult Basic Ed, with Manchester Community College, a number of partners funded through the Capital Workforce Partners, and it's called the Manchester Life Program, and that is for working families who are working part-time now, but really desire and need to increase either their skills or hours that they work or the wages that they earn So it's a large collaborative project that's just being started this month.
How is MARC funded?
Mostly through DMR. I'd say out of our roughly $6.2 million budget, nearly $5.4 million or so is from DMR. DRS.
But as most people know, that on October 4th, we'll be going to Department of Developmental
DDS,
Services.
that's right, DDS. And the remaining portion of our budget is either through grants that we write, other grants, or through other funding, federal funding, or through fundraising, a large amount through fundraising, and through generous donations of people who support us.
What ways can people help MARC accomplish its mission?
Well, depending on who they are, a business owner could hire people that we support to help. We could meet their workforce needs. They have a need for a job to get done. They can call us and we can match them with the right qualified person to get the job done and support them to help train people to do the jobs that they need to have done. A private citizen can volunteer. Someone from outside of the agency, someone in town that wants to volunteer. There's a number of ways to help us, either through our fundraising, our golf tournaments, or volunteer to support some of our services. Number of ways for people to get involved.
How can people force of Connecticut or the Manchester chapter or any other chapter volunteer those services for MARC and help you accomplish the mission?
Well, anytime that you have the workforce there or the volunteers there, you call us and we'll set you up with plenty of projects.
That's a deal. What type of events have recently occurred at the agency?
Well, we just in the past week had our annual picnic, which was quite a bit of fun. Over 300 people attended. It was at Northwest Park in town, a beautiful park. We had beautiful weather. We had a luau theme that seemed to be pretty popular. We had great food, really a wonderful day. We had a dance the night before. About 200 people or so, probably over 200 people attended that dance. So just within the last few weeks, those are some of the things we've done.
Well, you know that People First and the Winnemanic Group and other agencies are combining together at Northwest Park to have a self-advocacy picnic.
Yes, in September.
In
right?
September.
Yes.
And I invited you, Kevin, and Jim to be our DJ, and for you and Kevin to come and sponsor MARC.
Thank you. I'll be happy to be there.
Are there any upcoming events?
Well, the main event we're planning right now is our golf tournament, August 16th. So that's coming up. The next 2 months are going to be very, very, very busy planning that event. It's 144 golfers we hope will be in attendance. It's one of our major fundraisers of the year. So that's really one of our main focus areas right now.
So it seems like not only MARC helps people to get jobs, they also help sponsor events.
Right, yes.
Now, how long has this golf tournament been going on?
Well, I think this will be our 7th year, I believe. It's always been held at the Manchester Country Club. It's a nice course.
And actually, I know where that is. What are the most memorable moments at MARC?
My most memorable moment?
Yeah.
My most memorable moment, probably the first day I walked through the door after I was hired, and walked in and met the people that I was going to be supporting. Ken, Sam, Charlie, people people that still good friends with to this day, and just the first impressions of meeting all the great people both that work there and that are supported by the agency. That's got to be my most memorable moment.
Well, Ken, you made a very first impression when you first joined MARC. And for even to have you as Executive Director of MARC is like having you filling Lori Prankle's shoes, but you can't fill them in. In MARC, do you have people who work with different people every day at the sites?
People who work with different people.
Yeah.
People that.
I mean, if the job coach is out,
Mm-hmm.
how do you get another person to fill in for them?
Okay. For the employment department, usually we have 2 or 3 floaters that are available to help plan ahead for people who have vacation time or we know they're going to be out. And then we have people that are cross-trained at different sites so that they can cover for someone if they call out unexpectedly, if they're out sick for the day. So it's a matter really of getting as many different people trained at the site and to know the people that they're supporting so that we can step in. We use other departments. Our quality assurance department is trained to cover all the different employment sites. So really you just want to have enough people that know what the support needs are and know the business to be able to step in on a short notice.
Who do they actually call? Do they call Betsy, Gil, you, or who do they call if they're going to be out sick?
They'll call in the morning, and Gil gets there at 7 o'clock, so he's there to take calls from 7 o'clock on so we can plan for the day. Generally, people are going out anywhere between 8 and 9 o'clock, so that gives us a good hour to plan for the day.
I know you have an upcoming event of the golf tournament, but after that, do you have any more events after the golf tournament?
We're working on now a celebration of our 55th anniversary with the Manchester Historical Society for a presentation in September. So as we're working on the golf tournament, that's another project that we're working on now, which will go into full speed leading into September, and we're looking forward to that event.
I have to tell you, Ken, you take too many responsibilities. Now I know why we have you as an executive director of MARC.
Well, I don't feel like I take too many responsibilities. I know that I have a great staff and great volunteers, and we all have the same. It's not. You can't be any one person. You have to rely on the talents and the effort and the dedication of 175 staff and 250 people that we support and their families, and it's everyone with the same common goal.
You do have great staff, and you do have volunteers that come in. They like working with people with developmental disability. And no wonder why the families are so comfortable with MARC. It's because they know that MARC would be a good role model for them, besides the parents. And that's what we all need to understand, is that MARC is a wonderful role model for us.
Well, as far as role models go, I think everyone that we support are the role models for the community. It's the self-advocacy work that people do. It's going out and showing employers the talents that people have, and letting people know that there's especially in the employment end, there's a workforce that employers need to be tapping into. They need to be contacting us and let us know how we can help fill their needs. What you do every day at Stop and Shop, you show people your talent. You show people how hard you work, and the manager will call us up and say, I want someone else that I'm going to hire because of the hard work that you do. So it's really, it's everyone that we support is really the role models for the community.
Let me also say this. When I first started with MARC, my father met Roy Prenko. And my father said to Roy that she wanted me to get into MARC because it was a great agency for me to be in. So Roy took me in. Roy took me in, gave me a chance to do what was right for me. Yeah, of course, even though that my father did everything for me. And it gave me an opportunity to do things for myself, like work at Stop and Shop, have friends. All that means more to me than life itself right now. Even my father's watching me, and so is my mother.
And both very proud.
Yeah, because I accomplished what my sister or my brothers couldn't do in one day. So I really think that what you guys do for people with developmental disability is a lot for them.
Thank you.
Because nowadays you can't find any other place that will hire people like the staff that you have at MARC. Well, Mr. Charpentier, it was a real fun time in talking to you about how MARC works, how people enjoy what they're doing. You do accomplish a lot. And for more information about MARC, please call 646-5718, or you can just call MARC Inc. and they'll show you who you can talk to. If you need to know something about MARC, call Ken. Ken Steele. Call anybody. They'll help you. They'll tell you what you need to do, how to go about getting your kids in to MARC and letting them have a job. So again, I want to thank you for coming. It was very enlightening. My name's Thomas McCann. I'm the host, and thank you, and good night.
Thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.